Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am your host, Clay Emo, Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Tuesday night, October the 10th, the night before the start of the Canucks regular season. If you're new, here's what you should do. Subscribe now so you can get all of my videos and all the good stuff. Canucks analysis that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I want to give a special shout out to Carol. Carol, I was able to have a quick 5-minute chat with her just before coming on air, and she gave me permission to share that she is back in hospital fighting some illnesses, some infections. So Carol, will continue to pray for your quick healing. And yes, speaking of prayer, it is my Tuesday night prayer group. So I will be going, I'll be cutting this show at 40 minutes for sure, so I can make sure that I can post and get to my church in time. I see a couple of new people in here. Rick hasn't been here in a while. Zedric is here. Hey Zedric, nice to see you. And many, many others in here that I love seeing. So to everyone, welcome, welcome, and welcome. Moderators, do what you need to do to make this a safe space. Members, that's Legends, Hall of Fame, and franchise members, thanks for your support as always. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether in my beautiful neighborhood of Seafton, Richmond, in the city, Lower Mainland, province, country, continent, or around the world, thank you for being here. You know that you could be watching anyone else, doing anything else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, or all three. But the fact that you are here with me at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night, know how much I always appreciate you, and I never take you for granted. So this is how you can get involved in the show. Saturday. No, I was reading Jason's comment. Yes, my 12-hour live stream is only 4 nights away, 4 sleeps away, which is pretty crazy. So this is how you get involved tonight, though. Subscribe so you can get active in the chat section and get notified of my videos every single day. Like the video. There are 37 of you in here. Good start, good start. So let's get those likes up to about 18 or 20. That would be amazing. You can leave a donation and get the donation train out of the station, and you can hear that sweet new goal horn that Lucas made for me. So you can do that. You can also gift a membership, which is the same as a $5 donation, and get someone franchise membership for a month for free. You can, Carol just did that. So let's honor that right now, right away. Actually, let me just finish this off. Or you can become a member yourself. You can upgrade your membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. But we can get started right now. So thank you to legendary Carol Bovenlander, who gets the donation train out of the station, gifts a franchise membership, and it goes to Peter Wynn. So welcome back, Peter, who calls Carol a lifesaver. And Carol, thank you for your generosity, even in the hospital, not slowing her down. So welcome, Peter, once again back to the CCC, technically, Clay's Canucks Commentary Crew. And Carol, thank you. Let's give both of them some love in the chat. Also, Fangirl gives use her 29-month membership message to say, "Go Canucks, go! Thank you for your loyal membership, Fangirl." And that one I can put on the screen. It's weird how I can't put membership gifts on the screen, but we can still be excited for them nonetheless. Okay, Kempner's in here. Make sure you subscribe to him at Kempner Canucks, doing some great work. And yeah. We got a bit to talk about. But before I do, 2 personal things I want to tell you. One happy, one not so happy, but I'll let you know. So the happy thing is in my boot, my walking boot, I actually removed one wedge. It's a 1-inch wedge. So it's quite it's quite a big milestone for me in that 4 more weeks until I start physio. So it's been 8.5 weeks now. And now basically picture in my walking boot, I have 3 wedges. So it was basically on the heel. So it's kind of making my my foot go like this, my toes. So as I remove one wedge, my foot kind of straightens out a little bit that way. So basically it's trying to lengthen the tendon a little bit. They had it really, really compact to try and have it fuse itself, which I think it has because I feel good. And then now I was able to remove a wedge from one of my boots, which is pretty great. So that was a thing I did today, and I didn't feel too hurt throughout the day. So I was very grateful for that. The other thing is tomorrow. It's sad news, but it's something that I've come to grips with, and I try my best to see the light in it. Tomorrow is my dad's 19th death anniversary. He died on October 11, 2004. Those of you that know me know that he was my hero. He was the one who taught me to be a Canucks fan, and he passed away 19 years ago. He had passed away on Thanksgiving Monday, October 11, 2004. So we always try and get together with my mom and my brother's family on Thanksgiving Monday to honor Dad, because obviously the date changes every year. So only once out of every 7 years does his death anniversary actually fall on Thanksgiving Monday. So recognize it yesterday with my mom and my brother's family. And then of course, tomorrow is the actual death anniversary. So definitely will remember him in my thoughts and prayers, and honor him tomorrow however I can. Maybe the Canucks can honor my dad tomorrow with a win, which would be awesome. That would be an awesome way to honor my dad. So a couple of personal things. Thank you for allowing me to share those with you. And now we can talk about the Canucks. So I'll talk about the Canucks for the next 15 minutes, and then I'll let you talk about the Canucks for the next 15 minutes. And then I'll wrap it up 40 minutes or so after 40 minutes or so. So a lot's going on today. A lot. Oh, Jason, really quickly. So I went to my GP. He said he was going to get back to me. He hasn't yet, but he did say this. I think I told you that he did say that a lot of people, a lot of patients get frustrated with my orthopedic surgeon because he's so conservative, but all the doctors love him because they think he's really good and they really respect him. So he said that doctors would have this guy operate on them or their own kids. So basically a compliment to him. And then I actually saw, I've been in correspondence with a physio, and he was saying at this point, I'm only 3 or 4 weeks out from starting physio. He said, don't rock the boat. He gave me some exercises to actually work on my hips and my knees to make sure that I'm not completely feeble. So I'm okay. I can still put a bit of weight on it. I might do a tiny bit of weight bearing, but nothing too crazy, nothing too that will go against my doctor, but my surgeon. Thank you. And thanks for the prayers. I appreciate you putting it in the chat. It could be about Carol. It could be about my dad. It could be about anything. So, but thank you for the kind thoughts. So the Canucks practiced today, and they practiced with 12 forwards, but Mikheyev was one of them. He might not play tomorrow. So technically 11 healthy forwards. They only practiced with 5 healthy defensemen and 2 goaltenders. So they didn't make any roster moves though. So that's the interesting thing is they had lines of Pettersson between Kuzmenko and Garland. I'll get to Garland in a second. Then Miller, Besser, and Phil DiGiuseppe. So we know those are the top 6. Then you had a line of Pia Suter with Bovilli and Joshua. That's likely the third line. And the fourth line of Lafferty, Höglander, and Mikheyev. So that means that Bluger wasn't skating today. That means Podkolzin, as I predicted, was not at practice. And Mikheyev cleared for contact, but not cleared to play. So Mikheyev will not likely be in the lineup. So that means those are 11 guys, and it kind of leads me to, that's why I think they pulled the trigger on the Lafferty trade as well, just in case Bluger is hurt longer. So someone like Podkolzin or Bluger or Oman is going to have to be in that lineup tomorrow if Mikheyev can't play. Then on defense, only 5 healthy defensemen because Susi wasn't there. So it's Hughes, Hronek, Cole Myers, and then Juleson, because Breezeball is still not 100%. We know that Susi, it looks like his injury is not as bad as they suspected, which is a great thing, but he likely won't be ready tomorrow. So they're going to have to figure out what to do. If Breezeball is ready, or they call up someone like Akito Hirose or Christian Wolanin. So there's a lot there that's happening. There's a lot of uncertainty, but Patrick Alvin made the point today in his media availability that they weren't going to do any roster moves today, the Tuesday, but depending on how guys are feeling in the morning skate tomorrow, they might have to call up 1 or 2 guys from Abbotsford. So that is an interesting storyline to watch for tomorrow. Sam Lafferty practiced with the team. They also gave him a 4-minute interview that they posted on the Canucks Twitter account. And he said all the things that you'd expect him to say. He was talking about that he's excited to be here, that he's heard a lot of good things about this team, about Talk It, about the Sedins. Kind of interesting that he comes here and he sounds all excited, but he left a team in the Maple Leafs that technically are better than the Canucks and went farther last year and will likely go farther this year. But maybe he's excited for the chance to make a difference here. Says that the hallmark of his game is his speed, and he's very versatile. That means he can be a good penalty killer as well. And he says that his speed helps his penalty killing. So nothing too earth-shattering from what Lafferty said, but he's well-spoken and he looks like he's exciting. He's excited to go. He had a decent preseason, had his best career season of his career last season in splitting time between Chicago and Toronto. So I look forward to seeing what he does, and we get to see that as early tomorrow. Now, there's not even an elephant in the room because, he's not big enough to be an elephant, but Connor Garland. So Elliot Friedman, late morning, tweeted out that he believes that the Canucks have given Garland and his agent permission to seek a trade. Also, Garland switched agents in the last 48 hours, and we know that he still has 3 more years left at $4.95 million cap hit. He's actually owed 6.5 $6 He's actually owed $17 million in cash with a cap hit of $4.95 million for the next 3 years. So not at all easy to move. My understanding is there's the Canucks that were looking for a trading partner in the summer and couldn't find one. And there's rumors that this one, given Garland did change agents, maybe it's an indication that now this one, if it's true, that Garland and his camp are the ones that are pushing for a trade. Now, the tricky thing is about this is, Garland, to his credit, faced the media. They did not, understandably, the Canucks did not post this one on their Twitter account, but Jeff Patterson and others wrote about it. And Garland basically did not deny that he wouldn't mind a change in scenery. But at the same time, he didn't come out and say it. So what does that mean? Well, it means when pressed, did you ask for a trade? No, but I did change agents. Are you happy to be here? I'm just focused on the season. Are you happy to be here? Yeah, I've had two good seasons here, and I have a lot of friends here. And are you happy to be here or whatever? What's not to like playing in a home opener or Canadian market? So they pressed him. It sounds like they pressed him for sure, as reporters should do. And it sounds like Garland did a pretty good job of taking the high road and keeping the focus on the game tomorrow, on the season. But I know a lot of people, including some people in here tonight, a lot of people were kind of upset with Garland. They're kind of saying, how can this story break the day before the Canucks season starts? And you know, it was a relatively drama-free training camp. It started off with a bang with the news that PD wasn't willing to resign right now. Doesn't mean he won't resign later. And then kind of went to training camp, lost the first game 10-0, then won 2 of their next 5, so no big deal. And then got through training camp and the preseason games relatively unscathed. But then Susi and Bluger get hurt in the last game. And then Mikheyev, they're still not clear if he's going to be playing tomorrow or when he's going to be playing. So all this, and then this Garland news comes out. So compared to last training camp, where I think there were more juicy stories, the Aquilini thing, the Castonguay thing. Actually, I'm not sure where that came out, but there's a bunch of stuff last year too. This year, at least it's all hockey related, but it's always injury and roster related. So all to say, I'll wind this part up and then I'll turn it over to you in a couple of minutes. How are the Canucks going to look like tomorrow night? How are the Canucks going to look like? Hey, and I want to give a shout out. Well, there's a lot of people in here but another friend I sat with James and Spencer at the game. For those of you who saw, I posted on my Twitter account. I sat in the wheelchair accessible section with a wonderful 11-year-old boy named Spencer and his father, James. And we've been messaging ever since. And James, great to see you. I got your message. I'll reply to you tomorrow, but I don't know if I know anything better than you do actually regarding what you asked me. I think you just go in there and take your chances. But if there's any type of delay or latency, as you mentioned, I don't know. Actually, does anyone know? I'll ask the group here. There's a lot of smart people here. Does anyone know? Has anyone listened to a game on their radio or their phone while watching in Rogers Arena? I know a lot of people used to do that at football games and hockey games when the games were on CKNW. And if you're listening to football or watching hockey, a lot of people like the play-by-play in their ear, so it fills up some of that silence, or they like the stats that come out, or maybe it's easier for a young child. Whatever the reason is, some people do like to listen to play-by-play when they're in the arena or in the stadium. So I'm asking you guys, help James out, because James asked me about it for his son. Does anyone know the best way to listen to the game? Is the only way to stream it? I mean to listen to it on the Sportsnet 650 radio app. But then if that's the case, I'm pretty sure, I think the radio app is like a good 20 or 30 seconds delayed. But if you're listening on the radio legit, then it's real time. So James, that could be a horrible, horrible explanation, but I think that's the case, is that if you're listening on the radio per se, it is fine. It's real time. If you're listening on the radio app, I know it is definitely 15 to 20 seconds delayed. So something to think about. If anyone else, yeah, so there you go, through the app and Wi-Fi. Yeah, so even with regardless of Wi-Fi or cell data, I've listened to the app before, like not during games, just on interviews and stuff like that, and press conferences, and there's definitely a 10 to 15 second delay. Okay, friends. So last thing I'll say, it sounds like we know the top line is going to be Pettersson, Kuzmenko, and Garland. As long as Garland's not traded before tomorrow night. Then Miller, Besser, and Phil DiGiuseppe in the second line. I believe the third line will be Suter with Joshua and Beauvillier, because they have played like that. And the fourth line, if Bluger's ready to go, I think it's going to be Bluger or Lafferty, Hoglander. Put Lafferty on the right wing. If Bluger's not ready to go, then I think it's going to be Lafferty, Hoglander, and one of Neil Zaman or Podkolzin. I don't expect Mikheyev to play tomorrow. I don't expect Susie to play tomorrow, but he might be ready on Saturday. So I think it's going to be Hughes Hronik, Cole Myers, and then Hirose and Juleson. Juleson's on the right, so you got to replace Brisebois. Brisebois healthy. He comes in, plays with Juleson as a third pairing. If Brisebois is not healthy, then it's either going to be Hirose or Wolanin. And then, of course, Thatcher, Demko starting. Friends, that is the first half. Let me do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I'll turn it over to you. And by the way, NHL season started off today. Tampa beats the Predators 5-3, 3 points each from Point and Paul. Then the Blackhawks beat the Penguins 4-2. Crosby goes with the -2. Connor Bedard gets an assist, not a goal tonight. And then the Vegas Golden Knights and Seattle Kraken, the one we're most interested from a divisional standpoint. Vegas Golden Knights raise their banner and soundly defeat the Kraken 4-1, included a hit on Brandon Tanev by, I can't remember who hit him, but Tanev was taken out of the game, and then whoever hit him got a 5-minute match penalty as well. So NHL season has indeed kicked off, and the Canucks kick off their season tomorrow. But let me do my mid-show sponsor read, and I'll get to some of your questions. Shout out to my sponsors. My primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. It was Howden, thank you. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform Personal Training Weight Loss. Check them out at ptforum.com. Thank you to Gassy Jai Art, maker of this fine artwork. Thank you to Monkey Nine Brewing, my eternal sponsor. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off of your next Vessi order. Don't forget my 12-hour live stream, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. this Saturday. I have almost all the guests locked up. It's going to be awesome. I hope you can join me for all of it, some of it. By the way, in the chat, put in the chat if you're planning me, if you're planning to join me for all 12 hours this Saturday. If you're planning to join me for all 12 hours this Saturday, put it in the chat because you deserve some love. I'm actually still trying to sell one pair of tickets to tomorrow night. It's the Lower Bowl ticket. So if you are interested I have to sell them. I can't give them away. But if you're interested, we're selling them for $525. We brought the price down actually to try and sell them. So if you're looking for a lower bowl pair in section 115, send me an email at canuckclay@gmail.com. And don't forget, shows this week, Wednesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. Tomorrow will be a post game. We'll wrap up the game and I won't be rushed. We'll go as long as we can tomorrow night. And then Thursday night at 11 p.m. as well. Finally, you can get involved by subscribing. You can get involved by liking the video. You can get that donation train, keep it going. Carol got it off with that $5 donation, the gift of membership, but you can leave a donation. You can gift a membership. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Okay, let's go Canucks and hockey related questions only, starting now. What do you got for me? Clay, if you can't give them away, but don't sell them, would you be willing to sell them for $5? Exactly. Eli, I'll come to you for $5 a ticket. I can't imagine what the team is feeling like. Imagine you're so motivated about pushing for the playoffs. Quinn is the captain. You have Garland changing agents and then requesting a trade. Yeah, the timing isn't great. That's for sure. Have the Canucks publicly announced the assistant captains, or will that happen in player intros? Judging from who's worn them throughout the preseason, I think it's going to be Petey, Miller, and Myers, maybe. We'll see. Is this the most intense kind of must-win season opener ever for the Canucks? All the talk about a strong start to the season with Petey's contract and playoffs hanging in the balance. I think there's a highlighted importance given the urgency for sure, given how poorly we played last year. But I don't think today's a must-win. If we lose today, though, tomorrow, then I think Saturday becomes a must-win. I don't think you want to start 0-2. Even if you're playing against the Edmonton Oilers, I don't think you want to start 0-2. Meetup planned for the first 2 hours of the stream, but I hope to join for at least an hour. That sounds good. With this news about Garland, will Rick Tocchet do everything he can to show his skills as the game goes along and into the following games to try and max his value? Justin, I think that's going to happen naturally. I don't think Tocchet's going to do anything unnaturally or additional just to bump up his trade value. But the fact that he's playing on the first line, I think that certainly doesn't hurt. We really need Susie on day one. Is he confirmed not playing? No, Sif, definitely not confirmed. Just my gut feeling the way that Tocchet was talking. But if he doesn't play tomorrow, I'm pretty sure he'll play on Saturday. Like it sounds like, thankfully, it's not month to month. It's not even week to week. It's just sometime this week. Or should Tocchet bench or limit Garland to teach him that no one is above the team? No, I don't think that'll happen. I think Rick Tocchet's trying to win. It's not his concern if guys want to be traded or whatever, switching agents. He's going to do what he thinks gives his team the best chance to win. And if that right now with this lineup is Garland on the first line, then it's Garland on the first line. Brustevich, 5 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. I'll take it. Little slammer. If Garland gets traded, what do you expect in return? Not a lot, quite frankly. Not a lot, because he's hurt his trade value by basically saying he wants to get traded. And do the Canucks have to retain salary? I sure hope not. Do you get maybe a draft pick back, or maybe a low one prospect or a low end defenseman? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's not necessarily related to a new defenseman, like one for one. I think it's you trade Garland, free up that cap space, and then go get a defenseman. Correct. I'm not going in the home opener, Jarvis. Every Wednesday, usually in a typical season, Tuesday and Wednesday are my worst days. Tuesday, I have my bowling league, which I'm obviously not doing right now with my injury, which sucks. And then Wednesday is my church night, the night where Gail and I, my wife and I, we run religious education program at our church for 120 kids. So generally Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, I don't go to games. This year I can go on Tuesday nights, but definitely Wednesday nights I can't go, unfortunately. So every time I get the schedule at the start of the year, I pray that there aren't a lot of good night games on Wednesday. I wish you read it last night, but I'm glad Kirk McLean did your intro because he's the real number one. Luongo won't do that for you. Actually, Luongo's been good to me. We've actually DM'd in the past. Kirk's been great to me. So thank you, Fillmore. I'll take it that you like the intro and that's good enough for me. Kempner, I'm not impressed by Garland's trade request right before the season starts. We should be upset with him. He's getting paid good money and he doesn't produce enough. Why is he upset? He's playing with EP. Yeah, that's fair. And I've seen a lot of that sentiment. But who knows? He could come out and do really well for this team. And if it bumps up his trade value and it helps us win, then it's a win-win. I hear what you're saying, though. What's your road game predictions after this home game? Yeah, I think they'll lose to Florida. They could beat Tampa, although because they have no Vasilevsky, although Tampa was good tonight. They should be able to beat Nashville, and there's another weaker team in there. So they play 5 on the road, right? Before they come back. Hopefully they can go 2-2-1. Then with the management change, it was a wave of issues going public as Rutherford and Alvin couldn't keep them private. That's true. Last year. How comfortable are you with PDG on the top 6? With his credit, he has looked good, which is nice to see, but kind of strange that you're trying to push for the playoffs. And yes, that's what Park and I were joked about yesterday, that usually a playoff team won't have a guy like Phil DiGiuseppe on your second line. I think he'll be fine for Miller and Besser overall, but Miller and Besser will have to do, from a scoring standpoint, the heavy lifting for sure. I would assume Petey and Miller get the 2 alternates, given that the group they were considering for the C were Quinn, Petey, Miller, and Demko. Yeah, and in the past, between the captain and the 3 alternates, they've gone with 2 defensemen and 2 forwards, so that's why I think Myers could be one as well. Score prediction, 4-2 Canucks. It'll be Pettersson, Garland, Miller, and Kuzmenko. Can we step back and examine what happened these past 13 years? How do we go from the best run team in the league to being a crap show? Drama like this never happened 13 years ago. Once they broke that team up, Sedin stayed, but Kessler, Burrows, Luongo, Bieksa, I think they thought they were going to get good again way faster. They underestimated how long it would take to rebuild with the Horvats, the Bessers, the PDs, the Quinn Hughes of the world, while the Sedins were still around, at least for Horvat and Besser. And then Jim Benning was not a good general manager. Thoughts on Dollywall saying the Canucks 150% wanted to get PD re-signed after the Friedman bid that was released the day prior. That would make sense. The Canucks aren't going to say anything different. They don't want it out there that they're taking a wait and see approach. Can you ask, okay, Patrick, are you going to keep your head extra smooth and shiny for preparation for opening it tomorrow? Patrick says, Peter, that's a very weird question. He's almost offended by how forward it is, but yes, he's going to go with the extra shine and sheen tomorrow. I think a Garland to CBJ for right-handed D has a chance because CBJ is looking to trade one. Yes, right. I saw Boquist and a couple other names out there, right? They have a lot of good defensemen in Columbus. Would you dress Garland and scratch? Would you dress Garland or scratch him? I think it becomes a distraction and really makes it awkward if you play tomorrow night. I disagree, Edmund. I do not think it's awkward. I think generally the guys will say, it's his prerogative to do what he thinks is best for his career. And I truly, if you're scratching him to put in Podkolzin or Oman, I don't know how that makes you a better team. Did I talk to Kurt McLean about 1994 Game 7? No, I didn't, Edmund. Other teams have the leverage knowing this now because not a lot of teams have $5 million laying around in cap space. That's true. That's a great point. Reminds you of the Kessler situation. Yeah, Kessler really pigeonholed us for sure. Do you think this current management is more conservative in their contracts than Benning was? I want to say yes, but then you see what they gave to JT Miller. I think, though, the more important is they know what kind of team they're building. They know the identity of their team. And you look how much roster turnover there's been since Alvin and Rutherford have been here. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yes, Philly was the team I was thinking about. Thank you, Ricky. Would I be pleased with an overtime defeat where the momentum seems pretty even? If it means getting a point, yes, but I'd be more pleased with the overtime win. Wow, nice. $300 for first row right behind the bench. That's great. Where'd you get that? That's good. Did I hear about the NHL Frozen Frenzy on the 24th where all 32 teams will be playing? Oh, that's good. Good thing I'm not doing my 12-hour live stream on that day. That's nuts. I'm afraid the team might get less than max value. Will give up a sweetener for teams to take on the Garland. Sorry, I got too excited. I'm afraid the team might get less than max value or will give up a sweetener for teams to take on Garland, or else risk the distraction in the locker room as season goes along, especially if the team starts slow. Yeah, I think that's a risk they're willing to take, though, if he helps the team. I felt like, while Mike Gillis didn't draft the best, the way he handled the team was probably better than Benning. Oh, yeah. Gillis was a good GM. Cutting edge for sure. Clay, did you hear about the NHL Frozen Frenzy? Yes, I think I just read that. Thanks, Zach. Gillis' major flaw was the Luongo-Schneider fiasco. That was not great. I don't think the Garland situation is a distraction because he's being professional about it. I think leadership group is strong enough to have it not become an issue. Yep, that's fair. And I do think he has been professional. He was straightforward about it today. Meanwhile, Jaskrin says, I think Garland made it awkward in the dressing room. If PD leaves, Clay, are you next in line as the new franchise player? I hope you have what it takes, my fellow Asian. Yeah, I think with my ruptured Achilles, I'm doing a lot on the ice. That's for sure. Did Garland announce that he wants out? He didn't announce it per se. A report came out that he did not deny. Let's put it that way. I'll shave Garland's beard. He didn't, but also didn't deny. There you go. I may be in the minority, but I think Alvin made the right choice with JT Miller over Horvat. Originally, I didn't think so. But my brother was on this horn. He was the one who told me a year ago, you watch, it's going to be Horvat that gets traded, not Miller. All you guys saying it's awkward or distraction. Did you forget that Besser did the same thing last season and he's still here? Viper, that's a great point. I'll be at a boat cruise tomorrow for my grade 12 trip. So I'll be nice. Have a good time, Jaskrin. Be safe. What past Canucks era would you say the current Canucks lineup is closest to? Oh. That's a good question. So hard to compare eras because the style of the game has changed. Maybe they're kind of like right before that 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 team was so good, or right after it, like kind of a playoff bubble team. Do I think the Canucks will make another trade? Potentially, but I'm not holding my breath. Chu is slightly different because one it's the day before opening night and he switched agents. Oh, you're talking about Garland? Yes. I'm not an NHL player, but I wouldn't like it if my teammates requested out one day before the season. Yeah, obviously, maybe they were hoping that it didn't get out there. Ticketmaster from a reseller hopefully didn't put the wrong price down because the next seats of those were going to $600. Well, if you have the ticket and you only pay $300, then that's good. Do you think Garland can possibly get demoted to the third line in his second match if his first match is poor? Yeah, I don't know if you get demoted 2 lines in just one game, but we'll see. We'll see. I have not heard anything on Dylan. How do you say his name? Coughlin? Hot take, Garland will not get traded this year and we bought out next year. Too many buyouts. We'll see. Trade Garland to the Blackhawks. Yeah, that's going to happen absolutely for sure. Kempner, Clay, I did my first live stream. Nice. I want to talk about NHL opening night, but everyone most wanted to discuss Garland trade rumors. That's great, Trev. I hope it went really well. That's awesome. What platform did you use? I'll check it out, and I hope you got good viewership. Once Garland is traded, it's making Benning look worse and worse with that trade he made. Oh, yeah, it's already a bad trade, but yeah. Not a chance to be mentioned yet, but did you get a chance to watch any Bedard's debut? 1 secondary assist, 21 minutes, 1 minute per shift, 2 for 11 in faceoffs. Yes, I saw his horrible faceoff stat, but I just mentioned that they lost. They won 4-2 and that he got an assist. So it sounds like he did just fine. Who do you see that it's going to play tomorrow night? DSS, I already went over that, so I won't do it again. I already went over that a few minutes ago. What do you remember most about the save Kirk McLean is known? What do you remember most about the save that he's known for? I remember where I was watching it at work at my Italian restaurant after a shift or during a shift, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Plot twist: Garland scores a hat trick tomorrow. Sweet, I love it. Fans kept defending Benning. You know who you are, and now you're defending these guys. It's a clown show with terrible moves. Tell me how you really feel, YouTuber. Garland for Dante Fabro. Looks like the Canucks are going for Andrew Peak. Interesting. Do you still think Bovenlander over Benson was the right choice? Benson's looking like a steal based on training camp reaction. Yeah, I want to see what he does in the regular season, though. And right shot defensemen are tough to get. I know a lot of people really wanted Benson, though. If Garland does get traded, where do you think he will land realistically? I think it's a team that has cap space. So usually not one of the contenders. I could see him going to a rebuilding team, quite frankly, which I don't know how happy he'd be. Dickinson game winner, I heard. StreamYard on YouTube had 44 viewers. Nice. Good. That's a great start. That's great. Yeah, no problem, DSS. I'm not blaming you for missing it, but it's not worth... I mean, I don't want to spend the time going over it again. I think JT can get 70% on the faceoff circle against McDavid. Well, we'll see. It's one thing to win faceoffs. It's another thing to see what your team can do with it. Jason Dickinson, Canucks legend. Jason says, hit the likes, people. There are 90 people in here, which is great, but only 29 likes. Yes, we should have at least 40 for sure. I had a bad feeling about the OEL Garland trade from the moment it was announced. Yeah, it was not great. And you're not the only one. I think a lot of people were skeptical. They knew that Benning was trying to save his job. Bedard looks like a young Patrick Kane. How is that fair? It's not. It's not fair. Back to Arizona. Yeah, that's a possibility. What happens if Garland never gets traded? Then you hope that he produces really, really well. I see Connor Bedard getting about 60 points and winning the Calder. I doubt he'll get 90. No, I think anywhere between 55 and 65 is realistic, Edmund, and that's enough to win the Calder for sure. How much more patient do you see Alvin Rutherford being with Podkolzin and Hoglander? I think you get Podkolzin. He's got to do something this year, but it makes sense to be patient with them because these guys you can still sign them for $1.2 million a year, 1.5 at the max. So if they can outplay their contract, then they're actually very valuable assets to have. Benning didn't save his job with the OEL trade. Yes, he was trying to, but he certainly did not. Did I see Garland scrap Joshua in practice? Was that the start of the locker room problems? Yeah, I think Joshua was just mad that he got hip checked by Garland. And I'm not going to make that jump yet to say that was locker room problems because of that. I'm not convinced of that just yet. Yes, I do think the Canucks will score a power play goal. Can you think of a trade that turns out worse in the past than the Canucks and Arizona one? Yeah. When the Canucks traded away Cam Neely for Barry Peterson, or when Pittsburgh traded us Marcus Naslund for Alex Stoyanov. I think those are bad from a player for player, but yeah, maybe not the long-term ramifications or concerning as many assets. Isn't there a clause in the NHL to terminate a contract if that's the case? Usually you terminate a contract if it's something that goes against the player code of conduct, like an abuse situation or substance abuse, physical abuse, domestic abuse, that kind of thing. Garland Hogs for Pesci. Does that do it? I don't know. I don't know Brett Pesci's contract situation. Let's put Bedard aside for a second and focus on another star rookie, Fantilli. I think Fantilli could get between 40 and 45, maybe a tad more. I'm praying for the Canucks to have a good start now. Yeah, me too. If OEL played how he did originally with the Coyotes, like putting up 40 to 50, the trade would be so bad. Yeah, and I totally expected him to put up 40 points like he'd been doing his entire career. Hey, Kaya, welcome back. Although I'm getting off here in the next 2 minutes. What teams did McLean play on? Good question. I know he played on the Canucks. Did he play on the Rangers as well? After the Canucks here, Kirk McLean. He played for Canucks, Devils for 2 years, then the Canucks, then the Hurricanes, Panthers, and Rangers. So 5 teams. 5 teams. I think Verlander is going to get better, being next to who's Lane Hitson? Is that the guy? Garland and a 5th for a 2nd. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. Could the Canucks have terminated? I don't know the exact, but it was just allegations, right, Fangirl? I don't think he was never charged. Why not Chicago? He could be an upgrade on the wing for Bedard instead of Donato. We can take Connor Murphy back. I like Connor Murphy. No problem, DSS. We'll see you later. Lane Hudson. Thank you, Lil Slammer. On that note, I will need to wrap up because I got to get going to my church in about 10 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Moderators, thank you. It sounds like no problems tonight. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovenlander, legendary Andrew Chang. Thank you for your support, as always. And thanks to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Thanks to Carol, who gave the donation tonight in terms of a gifted membership. And went to Peter Wynn, and thank you, Fangirl, for using your monthly membership message. You can still leave a late donation or gift a late membership on your way out right now. So, rest of the week shows at 11 o'clock on Wednesday night, Thursday night. If you want some Lower Bowl tickets for $525, the pair, it's actually way cheaper than Ticketmaster. Send me an email, canuckclay@gmail.com. And then, enjoy the Canucks game tomorrow. It'll be fascinating to see who they actually dress as their roster. My boys are going to the game tonight. They're sitting in some of our upper bowl seats, and I'll be having the game on my phone for the first 2 periods at church. Then I'll rush home to watch the 3rd period, and then get ready for my 11 o'clock stream tomorrow night. And once again, thanks for being here. On your way out, subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, upgrade your membership, gift a membership, get your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoy the game tomorrow. I hope it's a big win for the Vancouver Canucks to start off their 2023-2024 season. I'm just fascinating to see who actually ends up lacing up their skates for the Canucks tomorrow night. So thanks for everyone who came in late. J Kid, I got it. I will say a prayer for your cousin tonight. And let's go. Let's go, Canucks go. It's the start of a new season in 17 hours, 17 hours from now. It's going to be awesome. So as always, 19 hours from now, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. I think some of the best parenting advice I gave was over the weekend. I got a little cold in the house, and Jacob said to me, "Dad, I'm cold." So I just said to him, "Son, go stand in the corner of the room. I hear it's 90 degrees. God bless, and go Canucks go. Booyah."